And on the flip side, if there's a school that's interested in like whole school implementation, how would you say they should approach it?
Oh, so there's a few ways to go about it. I mean, again, I suppose you do want people getting some training at the start, because that is reassuring. It gives people an understanding of, if you like, the landscape of what's involved. You're not an expert overnight, but you have an idea of, okay, well, there's these 4 or 5 areas to restorative practice. So what I'd suggest is getting 4, 5, 6 people maybe that are interested. Actually, I'll just backtrack a small bit. Get a 1 or 2 hour Croke Park session, so that a 1 or 2 hour overview to everybody. Okay, so that'll be it'll just touch on the overall principles, but you'll get everyone some way informed of what this is or isn't. Okay, and then get 5 or 6 people, get an implementation team. Joe Brummer has written very extensively on this. Just to drop his name, he's an American trauma-informed RP trainer, and he recommends, and I would agree, getting 5 or 6 people as an implementation team trained up. So all of a sudden they have, again, some initial training, understanding, and then as a school they can decide what it'll look like. Okay, so it's going to take time. You don't want to rush everything, but as a school, they can, that implementation team can liaise with other colleagues, can liaise with board of management, parents association, students, parents, the wider environment, and come up with their own plan. And it needs to be their own plan. That's the other point. Restorative practice is about working with. It's not about someone like me coming and doing it to people or for people, because then what happens when I'm gone? Or people get the feeling that this is being imposed on us. So the ethos is very much work with, and if you have a small team, with a range of skill sets, so you've got, it's not just everyone passionate about RP. You need practical people. You need people who can plan, who are good at the detail, and they'll hold you to account. And you need maybe someone who's a bit, I don't know about this. Maybe someone who'll just really hold you to account and question it. So a range of skills is definitely a good way to go.
And if there is a school who's sort of done those steps, like they had a couple of Croke Park hours with an overview, then they put together a small team of people with the appropriate skills to do a bit of further training, who are then going to try and help tailor it for exactly their school's needs. In terms of supports, are they then left some, see ya, off you go, best of luck, or can they access like monthly check-ins or coaching or stuff afterwards to help along? Because with the best will in the world, and our own practice have done similar stuff in other areas for healthcare settings, without sometimes up to 3-4 years of having somebody there to keep them on track. It's like you get the plate spinning, but unless they have a little bit of help sometimes and the plate starts wobbling, it just falls off with the best will in the world. Is that available, or is that something the school has to go looking for? Or how would it work?
There's so much available, but yeah, the word is support. I mean, absolutely, it comes down to support, because at the start, if it's just 1 or 2 or 5 or 6, that's a tough place to be, trying to get this up and running. And there's mistakes happening. And the temptation when mistakes happen is, let's just go back to the way we always did it. That's safe. Even if it wasn't the best way in the world, at least everybody understood it. So it definitely needs support to start. And there's so much. So even, down to, contacting yourself or myself, we are starting community practice in September this year. So a monthly setup there where, teachers can come along and just discuss issues. If you are at trainer level, CDI have a trainers community practice as well. That will take a while to get up there. But I think as well, just within the school themselves, a community practice, people can be their own support as well. So certainly you have someone like myself is available as to support and guide. CDI have their own people as well that will help you, but just not to underestimate a school's own community practice, and just sitting there, what's working, what's not working. And if you've got 7 or 8 or 10 people there together, someone will know, collectively we will know, okay, there's this training available, there's these videos, there's these books. I've read this book. So people, I suppose it's a dual thing, supporting themselves and then knowing where to go. So someone, I say, like myself, like CDI, there's so much out there. So yeah.
And this is just something that just occurred to me. Based on the Department of Ed stats on schools, over half, just under half the schools in the country have over 200 pupils. So about 55% or thereabouts have under 100 pupils and a small number of teachers. So I know you're mentioning about sort of, like you have 5 or 6 people to try and lead it, etc. But if you're at school with like 4 teachers, is the same sort of support available there, or is it a case that they should try and band together, or can they just pick up the phone and call someone like yourselves and get help? Like, basically what I'm trying to work out is, is this only for big schools, or can a small school get the same level of help?
It's definitely for any size school. I mean, I know one of the initiatives I was trying to get up and running before COVID. COVID obviously put a big stop on a lot of what I was doing there a couple of years ago, is like that. I mean, to get 4 schools together. So if you're a principal and you're interested, what I would say is, maybe talk to, you'll know other principals in the area. Talk to principals. Is this something you'd like to join up with? So maybe getting 3-4 schools together. Getting either, if it's a 4 teacher school, get all your teachers. If it's a 10 teacher school, get 5 from your school, 5 from another school, 5 from another school. Contact someone like me or one of the other trainers that are out there, and get going that way. And we did it to a small extent in Limerick. And teachers, there was one occasion we did it. We had 3 schools together, and teachers really enjoyed it. I have to say, the idea that, and we alternated the 3 nights between 3 schools, and just to get those links and hear different perspectives, just to step into someone else's school and hear, oh my God, it's the same stuff going on here. There was a lot of support, of interest in that style of a method. But the thing is, and I suppose COVID definitely was a big block in everything. But we'll get back there. Is afterwards, when it's, if you like, after initial training, it's about getting in those supports, that community of practice. So look, every month or every second month, we're going to come together. We're going to look at what's going on and just keeping it alive in many different ways. So it takes a lot of different inputs. So something small, like just getting a little note in the Parents Association newsletter. Look, this is what's happening. If you're interested, feel free to ring whoever the contact person is. Getting a few posters up. There's lots of little ways of keeping it going. So community practice, and I actually love the idea of different schools coming together to kind of support each other and work that way.
I suppose one of the unnecessary sort of side effects of the whole COVID situation as well is that we have sort of skipped about 10 years in terms of technology adaptation worldwide. So, you don't have to be down the road anymore. You can sort of link Donegal, Kerry, Dundalk. You could each have a school and those doing this, as long as you're at the same stage of the journey, I presume. Would that be right?
Yeah. Funny you mentioned Donegal. I've done a couple of I'm in Limerick, and I've done a webinar with Donegal, and I'll be giving a course there in the autumn. One of the webinars, there was 200 teachers from around the country. So again, if you're a school in Donegal, do it remotely. Team up with a school from Cork and a school from Galway, or a school from Limerick, and people are finding that remotely. Okay, it's not as good as face to face, but you're not comparing, if you like with like. You're comparing either we can do this remotely with other like-minded schools, or we can't do it at all. So in that situation, it's been such a blessing and an addition.